everyone's dream when they grow up is to look back home and say, you know what, I'm looking after my family, I'm looking after my parents, I'm looking after my siblings. Do you think you also have achieved that dream? We saw beginning of this year, if not mistaken, where you demolished. We saw tractors, these big, what do you call them? Demolishing a house, and then you had to rebuild that house. Can you tell us about that?
Look, Crypto King, that has been one of my greatest dreams. You know, uh, one of my greatest dreams has always been building a home. And I mean, my favorite lady in the entire world, my first lady, my best, is has always been my mother. Because she's one of the people that has always believed in me. Even when a lot of people would question my ambitions and the things I would pursue, but my mom would always say, let's give Tulan a chance, let's see how far he goes with whatever he's doing. And during my struggles, during my tough times, during my hardships, this lady called my mother was always there for me, even when I was not right, because I've not always been a perfect child. I've made mistakes. I've done things in my life that I'm not proud of. you know but to my amazement, my mother has always been there. So for me, it has never been um a good feeling for me to be out there in all these restaurants, hotels, living in the suburb, knowing very well that this lady that is my number one fan still lives in an RTP house. This lady who's my number one fan doesn't have Wi-Fi. This lady who's my number one fan doesn't have proper furniture, doesn't have a good TV, doesn't even eat good food, while me, I'm busy out there, eating in all these exclusive restaurants. So I said to Lana, for you to enjoy what you are doing, you need to build an empire for your mom, and not just for my mom, but also for my siblings, because we grow up in a neighborhood where we saw developments from our neighbor there, our neighbor there, our neighbor there, yet we've never had that. So for me, it has always been a desire, not just for my mom, but for my siblings, for us to proudly say, Gusekaya la. That feeling where you bring your
No,
friends,
it's an
where you
awesome
bring
feeling. It's an
it's
awesome feeling, I tell you.
there's no feeling that beats that. So I've always wanted to take either a friend or a business partner and say, well, Gusekayala, this is my mom's place, this is where I grew up. So for me, that was the greatest desire. And let me tell you something, my mom is so selfless. When I did that project, she said to me, because I was still renting at the time, she said to me, thank you so much, Chicken. She said to me at the time, Tulane, you are renting and I live in my house, even though it's an RTP, but it's still my house. And listen to what this woman said. She said to me, start with you.
Mm,
By
mm,
yourself,
mm,
because I wanted to build a house before I even bought my own place where I can call a home.
mm.
But she refused. She said, "You're not gonna build me a house until you have your own house where you live and where you can bring and say, Mom, this is my house." So
Mm.
she said to me, start with you first. Then you can come back and say, Mommy, I'm ready to build you a house. That is why I had to quickly, find myself something. And that's how I moved back in Remsach, where I'm currently based. And then when I did that, then I went back and then I said, okay, Mommy, we are ready now. Are you ready to move out of your RTP? It was not easy to get her out of that place. Look,
Mm.
of course, my intention was to get her a house somewhere in the suburbs, but she said to me, that's not my life, Tulane. This is where my life is. I've always being a township girl. I love my neighbors, I love my people. And I appreciate that you want to take me to the suburbs, but that life will frustrate me, you know. So if you want to give me that life, would rather do something where I am. And I said, okay, cool, not a problem. You know, so I booked her out of her house, you know, because when I spoke to the construction company, I told them maximum I'm giving you is 3 months. The
Mm,
bill is not a big
mm.
deal. Money is not a big deal. I've already, of course, worked with the guys that draw plans. What are they called again?
Architecture.
Architecture, you know.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
guy already drew a plan for us. I showed it to my family, to my siblings, to my brother and my sister. They approved it. We showed it to my mom. She was happy about it. And when I got this construction company, quite a good construction company, I can recommend it to anybody right now. And I said to the guy, his name is Peter. I said, Peter, I need this done in 3 months max. Nothing more than that. Minimum 2 months, maximum 3 months. You go beyond that, then I'm going to start deducting whatever I owe you, you know, as a balance from the house. And he said to me, well, Lion, let's do this. And the total cost, of course, for my mom's house, including furniture, was 1.7 million, of which we did cash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Big ups to that. Big ups to that.
Oh, I mean,
1.7 million
yeah, I'm
for the
telling you, I mean,
mom's house.
that lady's TV is bigger than my TV in my living room. And for me, that is my greatest joy. You know, when every time I visit my mom and then we watch her TV, and then I come back to my house, I see my TV so small. And for me, that's happiness. That
It's
is
it's uh,
happiness.
it's Women's Month, and you are dropping bombs. That's marvelous, bruh. Thank you so much for
So
doing
she's the
that.
queen. She's the queen. You go to my mom's house right now. She's the queen. You know, her bedroom is a palace. You know, her living room is a palace. She has 365 degrees cameras. You know, she has two of the most expensive dogs, Rottweilers. You know, so she's highly protected. You know, the security system is at another level. I check my mom's house on my phone every now and then. I can see all the movements going
Mm.
on there, you know. So she's a queen, and she eats the good food, you know. So I'm happy, you know. I'm happy, and I believe it's every African, every black man's dream, every black woman's dream, to give that life to your mother. And if I can do it, you can do it too. I didn't want to give my mom the best funeral, but I wanted to give my mom the best life.
Blessings shall follow you.
Thank you, King. Thank you, King.